I've witnessed hundreds of deaths, and here's one I'll never forget. This one changed the course of my nursing career. And literally, this was 12 years ago, and I just pulled over to tell you this story because I still think of this woman all the time. So as an ICU person who had been in and out of the ICU multiple times because of complications, because of a surgery she had. I had grown very close to her and her family. I had seen her at her best when she was walking around talking and laughing with her family and thinking she was being discharged. And I saw her at her worst when she had been lying in a hospital bed, intubated, sedated, on multiple machines, multiple drugs, keeping her alive. After about a month of her being like the latter, and us in the healthcare world knowing she was going to die, but still focusing during rounds on what her creatinine was, and if we could just do this and this, maybe we could wean her off the vent, and then maybe we could get her out of the ICU. I felt like, what are we doing here? How can we be doing this to a person when we know as healthcare workers she's going to die? But we're not saying that to the family or the patient who's sedated and intubated and not really conscious. So I'd been a nurse about 2 years at the time, and I was still scared to speak up during rounds. And I finally spoke up and said, when are we going to have a family meeting to talk about the big picture? And everyone there knew what I meant. They all knew I meant the big picture of this person's going to die. You want to believe that your patients are going to live, and you want to help them, and you want to give this family hope. But after a while, you feel like, I can't keep doing this to this person. I literally feel like I am aiding in their suffering and aiding in their family's suffering by not being truthful. And I said that during rounds. Everyone agreed. We had a family meeting. We told the family what was really going on, what we thought about the prognosis and outcome, which was likely death. And because of that, they chose to turn off the machines the very next day. And she died within, I think, a few minutes. And although that sounds awful and sad, it was the first time I felt like I did something good. I did something right. I spoke up and advocated for a patient and their family, even though, and it makes me want to cry, even though that meant them dying. It was the right thing. It wasn't right that we kept people in the dark about what was really happening. And no one's meaning to do that, right? We all mean well. Anyway, it was the first time that happened to me. It was the first time I felt like, oh my gosh, I have a voice and I can do right by my patients, even if that means